Hi, I'm Danny from Retro Camera Review, and today I'm going to show you a step-by-step manual on how to develop your own black and white film. First off, you have a set of chemicals and basic containers to get started. You'll need 4 jugs, a beaker, funnel, thermometer, timer, and a developing tank. The basic chemicals you're going to need are developer, which is in this case D76, fixer, permawash, and photo flow, along with a lot of tap water. The chemistry and basic kit you want to get is actually listed on our blog, which you can find a link to on the screen or below the video. So now you've got your tools, let's get down to loading the tank. In complete darkness, you're going to want to either unroll your 120 film or use a can opener on your 35mm can. So when you want to load your film, you're going to want to get in complete darkness. And you're going to want to roll your film onto the spool. With 120 film, it's as simple as unspooling the paper and getting your film. But with 35mm, you're going to want to have a can opener to get that thing open. Once you've got that going, you've got to spool the film around the spindle. This takes some practice to master, but the most important thing to remember is to keep the film as straight as possible, even when rolling it. When done properly, the film will be on the reel with enough space for chemistry to touch all the emulsion. When you're in the dark, a few ways to tell if you've done it wrong or how it feels. If it's bumpy, then you've got a poor wrap and you need to redo it. If it's tightly wound, that means that your film didn't catch on the metal spiral that you're wrapping it around, and you're probably spooling it in the wrong direction. If you look at my fingers and how I'm doing it, I'm kind of letting the metal guide my fingers along. This is something you can do in the dark to keep yourself continuing the straight path that the film is spiraling on. Once done, put the spool inside the container and close the lid. The container is a light, tight assembly that lets liquid in but not light. Step 1. Water rinse for 1 minute to remove the gelatin layer. It's not completely essential, but this is technically the proper way to start developing your film. Step 2. Mix a working 1-to-1 solution of D76 with water so that your chemistry is at 68 degrees. So basically, we need to fill a 16-ounce container with half water and half developer. So mix 8 ounces of cold water with room temperature D76. It's kind of hard to get that at the right temperature, so you might have to go to a cold sink or drop a few ice cubes in some water to get it down to temperature. In order to figure out how long to develop your film, you can visit a website called digitaltruth.com, which we have listed in the blog. It gives you an approximate starting time for film depending on which chemical you're using. So for Tmax 100 speed, we're going to develop for 9.5 minutes. The first minute you're going to want to agitate for 30 seconds. And every 30 seconds after that, you want to agitate for just 5 seconds. Go ahead and continue to do this until the timer runs out. Step 3. Rinse out with water 2 times. Step 4. Pour in the fixer and fix for about 5 to 6 minutes, agitating the same way as the developer. This basically stops the film from being light sensitive, so after this part you can do everything else without the lid. And make sure that you pour the fixer back in the bottle because it's deadly to fishes and it's reusable. Step 5. Rinse with water. Step 6. Permawash for 2 minutes and then pour back in the bottle. Step 7. Water wash for 5 minutes. The reason you don't have to water wash any longer is because the permawash is actually like a super fast wash. Step 8. Photo flow for 30 seconds agitating and then 30 seconds still. Then pour photo flow back in the bottle. You don't want to rinse with water after this because the photo flow is basically your chemical that keeps water spots from forming on the film. And your last step is to hang the film and dry. If you don't have some sort of film emulsion wipe, just use your fingers to squeegee down the film and let it dry. So that's it. There's a million more chemicals out there to do the same thing, but they all have slightly varying results. What I've shown you is a basic starting point for black and white developing. It's really easy, it's just a little intimidating to start out with doing on your own. So if you read my blog and watch the video, I think you'll have a better grasp of how to get started.